Hello, Planeswalkers. Welcome back to our next episode of the Lotus Archives. As always, I am Kava.
What's happening, everybody? This is Jack here.
And this week, we are taking a break from our normal discussions on rules, decks, and whatnot. And we are reflecting on some of the past sets of Magic. More because of how disgruntled we've been with the sets coming up and the sets that were released this year and this coming year. I know me personally,
It's time for reflection.
Yeah, I don't necessarily want to speak for Jack, but I'm looking at the past 3-4 years. I felt like these sets they haven't been as impactful for me. Yes, there's always gonna be a outlier, but it all comes back to I miss the storytelling.
Yeah.
So Jack,
I think that's the biggest thing. So with what's coming up and everything that we're seeing, just figured it was nice. It'd be nice to have a little trip down memory lane and a little bit of a nostalgia chat of like what sets we loved, growing up with and playing with, and just how things have taken a turn for not exactly the worst. Like we don't want to be, super pessimistic and negative with this one because the upcoming sets do look like they could be a lot of fun, but some things about them just aren't gripping as well. And if we look to the past of like what our favorite sets were, we can kind of see what about them gripped us so much and had our attention and had the massive turnouts that they did versus why some of these upcoming sets aren't performing as well as some from just a couple years ago, right?
Yeah. So we're going to talk briefly about every set and why we liked it. The first few that I'm going to talk about myself, they're coming from right when I first started playing. And these were sets that I remember I could walk into LGS or I could walk into a Walmart, Target, Best Buy, anything, and see these packs of cards on the shelf. And that's what got me into the game more heavily. My best friend at the time, they got me playing. They helped me start building a deck, and then I went down the deep rabbit hole of opening packs. Luckily, I have stopped
a very
opening packs as much, but so
you basically kiss your wallet goodbye and
yeah,
dive into the realm of what your set looked like. So what was that first set that really gripped you and grabbed your attention?
So this for me, it was tough. The first set that really grabbed me and I was like, holy shit. And I'm going to talk about both of these, not necessarily as a set, as blocks.
Yeah.
Just because these two I want to combine them because I'm throwing these in here last minute because I was just reminiscing in my head. But right before I started playing was when the Kaladesh first block and the Amonkhet block were still in stores. They were still in cycle. So I remember I used to go and just grab a pack or two of Amonkhet, a pack or two of Kaladesh. And the Kaladesh set in particular, you had the energy. It was interesting.
The introduction to energy counters was a really cool
it was
cool
different
thing. For those of us that love like the artifact mechanic and stuff, it was a very cool set to see with a very nice mechanic to add some more flavor to that, I think. Yeah,
I mean, plus you had some great cards out of Kaladesh. I mean, you got cards like Noxious Gear Hulk. You got cards like Authority of the Consuls, Ether Flux Reservoir, Panharmonicon. but you got some
loads of cards that just
freaking
became quick
cards.
staples.
Yeah, and then in
And like the masterwork styles of them
oh my
too. Like they had some
god.
really cool artworks
But then in like
for them.
Ether Revolt, you had cards like Baral, Chief of Compliance, and Shram, Senior
Yep.
Edificer, Yahini, Undying. You had really
Yeah. So
and
many decks now just like have to have those cards.
You had
Walking
Walking
Ballista, yeah,
Ballista.
we had the Walking Ballista.
But you
That
had
changed everything.
yeah, mechanized production. You had so many
Yep.
great artifact cards. And the artwork of this set really drew me in. And after Kaladesh, we went to Amonkhet, and the Amonkhet is really where I found a
Amonkhet was cool.
deep love for deck building and Commander.
Yeah.
I mean, I had a Scarab God deck, I had a Locust God deck, I had the Eternal deck at one point, Hapatra, Vizier of Poisons. Like, you had so many freaking cool cards.
Those were really cool.
Plus, in Amonkhet, you had Anointed Procession. One of my personal favorite cards.
Yeah, we did.
But you had a lot of cool fucking
that thing
cards.
Was hot.
And you had the gods.
Yeah.
Which were always good. Lotus God, Locust, Scarab, Desert Lands.
And Scorpion.
And
Scorpion God was super cool.
Yeah,
I think Scarab was my favorite though, because I always liked zombies. So I had an alternate artwork done of Scarab God.
Yeah, I was gonna say I never really used the
just
Scorpion
cool.
God. I really just used Scarab God when I was building my decks, but he was
I
always
did
in the
see
99.
At one of my local game stores back when I was still living elsewhere. One of my good buddies built a Scorpion God deck, and it was brutally disgusting. There was a combo you could do with some different cards that put -1/-1 counters on things, and they would just bounce off each other, kind of similar to some other stuff where it was just like an instantaneous. This is just going to keep adding counters and kill everything on the board, and then he'd get value off of that so quickly. It was insane.
So
it was very cool, and then Locust God, of course, being disgusting.
Oh my god, yeah. So Jack, I talked about two of the earlier sets. I'm gonna hold off on the last block because I'm gonna talk about all three of them, all three of the sets at the same time when we talk. What was your first set block that you wanted to talk about?
So I started it when M10 and M11 were still things. So I'm gonna date myself here. Just
get off my lawn.
Back when core sets, right? Basically, so I'm an old man, right? We had the core sets back in the day, which like M10, M11, M12, things like that, and then Innistrad dropped, and that will forever be one of my all-time favorite sets of just vampires, werewolves, zombies, all the cool gothic Bram Stoker style, horror genre stuff. It was just you had to be there, right? It was very cool to see. One of the first pre-releases I ever went to was for the second part of the Innistrad block, and it was a blast. I tried to make a werewolf deck work, which that early on, I mean, werewolves today is still kind of iffy. You can make it work here and there as a fun niche deck, but back then we're talking, over a decade ago.
Yeah,
werewolves was almost unplayable. You just couldn't do it.
Werewolves are
there
even
was
today
no.
They're tough to play.
It's more reasonably done. Like you can do it more reasonably in Commander with Tovalar.
Yeah.
When we got Midnight Hunt, which was awesome. But back then there was no real way to do it. But I was determined. I was a determined little shit who was like, I'm gonna play werewolves. I'm gonna make it work. Either way, I'm gonna have fun. So it was just a really cool thing, and there were some vampire decks. My very first deck was a pre-constructed 60 card deck around the Bloodthirst mechanic.
Okay.
Which, you don't see too much of these anymore. They've got some of the starter kits and stuff still coming out. But back then it was just, it was just a different feeling, And that's really what I think could be lacking in some of these is just I don't know, there just doesn't seem to be as much of a story or as much of I don't know, something's not clicking
Like there's
with what's
definitely
been recent compared to what we've had.
like there definitely is a story, but it's almost like they're rushing them. Like back when
Right.
we had the blocks, and
It seems disconjointed.
the last true block was Ixalan, Rivals and
Yep,
Base Ixalan, and they had two sets
yep,
to tell a story. Now you
yeah,
got great locations like Strixhaven. You got great locations that the stories could be amazing. Yet they try and throw everything into one set. And then that's when we end up with
yeah,
smaller sets like March of the Machine Aftermath. And there was one for
yeah.
there was
Little
supposed to be
niche
one
here and
for
there.
the uh Wild West one, but they ended up just turning it into a bonus card sheet instead of a second set because I realized how bad
Right.
Aftermath was. But
Yeah.
like
I
I
mean,
was reading.
I love the artwork that we've seen in recent sets, but I couldn't tell you what the story of Edge of Eternities was.
Oh God, no.
I couldn't tell you anything about what was going on there just based on the cards. Like I remember when there were story chase cards that existed. Like if you go back and you look at some of the Innistrad stuff, you could see the story being told through the card arts and through their things rather clearly and concisely. Like if you go back and look at, Battle for Zendikar when we had War of the Spark happening, you could see huge story moments taking place in the cards you played that were just, you know, epic pieces of what was going on, and you could see it while you played the
Yeah,
game. I haven't seen or really felt that since maybe Dragonstorm. Dragonstorm had some cool story beats to it. Vanished. Uh oh.
yeah, yeah. I mean, Tarkir Dragonstorm was very, very
Bobby
good.
Booey.
But I feel
Oh,
like
there you are.
oh, you
You
couldn't hear
like
me.
vanished for a second.
Oh, that was weird. Um,
Yeah, you
Dragonstorm,
like completely disappeared.
huh? I know I saw a little bit of packet loss on your stream, but there,
That's weird.
I feel like with these newer sets, a they're rushing to get them done, and b
Yeah. Well, we saw that with Spider-Man, right?
yeah,
It was meant to be a smaller set, and then last minute they threw out a bunch of random commons and uncommons to make it a full set, and it just wasn't. It tanked.
yeah,
Their pre-release was for lack of a better terms, it was crap compared to other stuff. We saw reports of local stores who could usually have 60 to 100 people show for a pre-release. They went down to 15, maybe 11 people
yeah.
showing up for Spider-Man. Like, I mean,
Like
come on.
for an IP as big as Spider-Man, 15 people for a
It could have been
pre-release
bigger.
is pathetic.
Yeah.
But that just
I even saw some
screams,
stores canceled.
yeah,
Some stores just completely didn't even do their stuff because they didn't have enough people show up.
like that goes along the lines of people used to like based on what I've been reading, and the whole reason why they got away from the blocks was because people didn't want to go to the same plane for the entire year or for half of the year,
Right.
which I can understand. But is this a better solution?
Uh,
Like we yeah, we
I
went
don't know.
back to Ixalan. Yeah, we went to Strixhaven or wherever the plane is that they're on. I know Strixhaven is a college, but we're going to Lorwyn again, uh, coming up here in
That'll be
January,
cool.
which I'm super excited for Lorwyn. But is it really worth going to all these different planes and not having a cohesive story? I mean, I guess
I
it's a
mean,
trading
there
card game
is
first and foremost, but
right. And I know like the story does exist. You just have to do some more digging for it in like storybooks and other things like that.
I mean, Christ, I remember
But
in
for me
Bun.
personally, I miss the cinematics. You
Yeah.
know, I miss the cinematic trailers of when we had War of the culmination of War of the Spark, and it had this big, you know, Marvel-esque and end game style stuff to it when they were building up to this thing over multiple in-universe sets, and maybe you got a cute little secret layer here or there. But that's really, I think, what made it so memorable is that you had these epic trailers. I mean, hell, I remember the trailer for Eldraine
Oh my god,
with
that
the
was amazing.
goddamn freaking gingerbread man, right?
Reminiscent of
Like,
Shrek.
I remember distinctly the gingerbread man Garuk trailer,
It was
but I
awesome.
couldn't tell you a damn thing about, Spider-Man or the last UB whatever. I have no idea. But I
Well,
sure as shit remember you know, that little dude getting pissed off about his girlfriend getting eaten by Garuk and just going ape shit. I remember that.
so,
And that made that set memorable. That made that set has some,
oh my
had some
god.
core to it, had some guts to it, it had feeling. You felt immersed in that plane. Like you could see, oh crap, Garuk's back. We got this happening, we got that
Yes.
happening. There was like some cool Arthurian, vibe going on.
Like,
And so,
and
like, yeah, I know you were talking about Eldraine earlier too. Like, it was a cool set, man.
yeah, like we'll segue right into Eldraine with that.
Yeah,
And what I'm gonna talk when I say blocks, I'm talking
yeah,
about okay, yeah, I know they're not right after each other, but I'm considering them a
right. But they were
block
still there.
because they're both
Yeah,
on Eldraine. And it was kind of a
yeah,
follow up with Wilds of Eldraine. But
yeah.
like
That
the
was a
first,
cool set too.
oh my god. See, I am a huge Arthurian legend
Yeah.
mythology style guy. So
Oh yeah.
I studied a lot of early European history, and my
Mhm.
focus was on early European mythology when I was in college for my major. And not that I use it at all today, but I had fun while doing
It's
it.
something fun to have.
And looking at Thrones of Eldraine and Wilds of Eldraine, I am absolutely in love with the art style. I mean, you
Oh,
got
it's gorgeous.
cards like Emery, Lurker of the Lock. That's probably one of my
Yeah.
favorite pieces of art from all of Magic. Then,
It's very cool.
not
Being the Lady of
just,
the Lake, holding up the sword.
oh my god.
It's very cool.
I mean, then you got like Ranko, Master of Pranks, and you got
Yeah,
so
you got
many.
that little dude.
Oh my god, yeah, you have so many amazing cards out of Throne
Yeah,
of Eldraine that are now considered pretty much staples in Commander.
yeah. Like
And
Runkle it's good for any kind of like just mono black good deck. You should just run him to do stuff. He even had a big impact in 60 card formats like modern. He was good. The standard block when he was
yep,
standard legal, it was an absolute menace. You know,
I
I
mean,
remember playing that on Arena. I hated it.
oh god,
I
like
hated seeing somebody drop that dude. But then I would play him myself and be like, "Nah, I'm gonna be the asshole."
I mean, Christ, just for staples in the Commander format, you have
Yeah,
oh, never mind, that was a reprint. Um,
still
but
good. Still good to see some reprints.
yeah, you have cards like All That Glitters. You have cards
That
like
was that's a
Midnight
really good one.
Clock, the Great Henge.
Yep. Oh yeah, damn the Great Henge. Holy
Yeah,
crap. No Timmy deck would be complete nowadays without the Great Henge. I
but
think it's like $80 or something like
oh
that,
my
like 80 to
god.
90 bucks, I think.
But
Last I checked.
in the first set from Eldraine, probably you got four amazing or five amazing commanders right off the
Yep.
rip with Kenrith, Corvold,
Yeah.
Alila, Chulane, and Sire Gwen. Granted,
Oh, that
some are
was when
better than others.
they had that brawl mechanic too.
Yeah, that's when they
The
tried bringing Brawl.
brawl was coming out,
That's
which
because,
I didn't mind brawl. I thought brawl was okay.
well,
I thought it was a cool kind of niche way to play a commander esque style of deck
well,
with fewer things.
So Brawl, for those
More
that are
creative, yeah.
newer, Brawl was a very, very like one set,
Yeah.
short-lived experiment in paper
Yeah.
because Wizards wanted to try and cash in on the Commander craze back then. And
Just still going on today.
yeah, I mean, they had Brawl online and all that stuff, but
Yeah.
I don't think I've
Well, the
ever seen.
Commander is still their biggest formats. Like
Yeah,
that's what I mean. Is like it's their biggest.
but now they have control of it. They didn't have control of it
Yep.
back then. So they wanted
Right.
to try and cash in on the Commander players, get them going to Friday Night Magics more, getting them to buy more packs, because most Commander players buy singles. They're not buying
Yeah.
packs. And
Which you should do. You should always buy singles. Don't buy packs. If
yeah,
you're picking Commander like we are, don't buy packs. Buy a box maybe if you're really into the set. Buy a box, but
exactly.
otherwise, if you're looking for one particular card, just buy the card.
So
You'll save
Brawl,
yourself a
yeah.
big headache.
So Brawl, they tried bringing it for two Wizards. It was their version of Commander. It was only a 1v1 format. What is it?
Yep.
40 life or 30 life? Or
It
was it
was 30
20?
life, 60 card
Yeah,
decks. You had a commander still.
but it was singleton
The
still.
It was
And
still singleton, yeah.
the original mindset they had was, okay, we're going to have a rotation with these.
Yeah.
And Commander players were all like, yep, nope, fuck that.
Yeah. Not happening.
No one
Like
wants.
standard legal style
Yeah,
commander decks. Like, no. We're not doing that. We're gonna play our typical stuff. And then yeah, it was a mess. But
but
cards like Chulane and Corvold, they became just absolute menaces and powerhouses throughout the commander
yes.
format.
I mean, like,
I played a Chulane deck.
I
It
have
was
yeah.
disgusting.
I mean, I have a Sire Gwen deck. I love it.
Very good.
I remember when I first built her, I literally just threw in equipment cards without like,
Yeah.
because Anthony was like, "No, yo, Nick, you said you were building a Sire Gwen deck. You should bring that." I'm like, "Dude, it's not even done yet. Like, I haven't even really looked at it." And he's like, "Dude, just bring it.
Right.
Just bring it. We'll test it out." I remember I literally went through my binder of artifacts, and I'm like, "Okay, that looks good. That looks good." It was literally just a smorgasbord of good equipment cards, and that's all it
Sounds
was.
about right.
It was a straight up Voltron equipment deck, and I didn't have any other creatures in the deck. It was just Sire Gwen, and I think I still beat him. But with Eldraine, we
That
have
sounds about right.
yeah. With Eldraine, then we had Wilds of Eldraine, which for me, that really like took the mythology and the storybook aspect and turned it up to fucking 100. Because
Oh yeah.
you got guys or girls in there like Iriat of the Charmed Apple, Hilda of the Icy Crown. You got Fairy Nobles, Agatha the Vile Cauldron. You got Ruby Daring Tracker, which is Little Red Riding Hood. You
Yep.
got a ton of cool freaking cards and amazing artwork. And Iriat and Hilda, I have builds for them both, but I can't bring myself to have both of them built at the same time because they're both fucking stacks.
Yeah.
One is just
Yeah.
Orzhov and one's the Zorius. One's based around enchantments. But those were great sets. They were a lot of fun to play. So, Jack, what do you got for your next
They
set?
definitely were very cool. I mean, I heavily enjoyed Eldraine. I thought it was cool. I love the Arthurian style. The one So there were a couple big sets also that really gripped me in my younger years. Uh, Namely Return to Ravnica
Yup.
was a just absolutely amazing set to get into as the first like guilds and Ravnica stuff that existed prior. I had missed that. I wasn't into Magic at that time when like Ravnica first released. So, but I got to be around for the Return to Ravnica, and I just love the idea of different guilds and having different, sense of belonging and character. I always loved, in RPG games, like going to, like when I played Oblivion when I was a kid, and we had, you had the Mages Guild, you had the Fighters Guild, you had
Mm-hmm.
all these different groups and factions to join, and I always loved having characters designed around those factions, right? So getting introduced into Return to Ravnica and seeing all the different guilds and all the different things you could belong to, and really build your deck around a cool theme like that was just astounding to me. So I go into the pre-release and I immediately go Rakdos. I'm still that edgy edgelord teen phase where I just want blood, I want death, I want gore. My favorite card that I'd found from the older Ravnica set was Reign of Gore,
Oh God.
which is it's a 2-drop black red enchantment that just reads, if somebody would gain life, they lose that much life instead.
Fucking great.
So, and it's just like, it's the most metal artwork you could ever see, with just like these random people just having blood downpoured on them, and it's like the metalist thing I'd ever seen. So regardless of what Rakdos deck I played, that card was in it. And I just remember when you played with Rakdos, like each guild had their own unique mechanic in it. And the only one I remember is Rakdos, where you had Unleash. So every time you would play the creature, you could basically unleash it, like add a counter to it, give it whatever. And then I believe it was sacrificed. Hold on, let me do a quick. I should have had this ready before. My apologies. Let me see. So yeah, you had a card like Hellhole Flailer, which is just a 3-drop Ogre Warrior Unleash. You have this creature enter the 1/1 counter on it, but it can't block as long as it has that counter. So it was a very aggro heavy center deck. It's like, I'm not blocking with these guys. I'm turning the board sideways. I'm punching you in the face as hard as I can. Very Berserker Rage style gameplay, like strategy. You got these cards during the pre-release that had like check marks of achievements to get whenever you would do, like, you had to do something to get like a tick mark on this play card. And for Rakdos, whenever you unleashed, you had to go, "It's unleashed," and you had to like shout it at the top of your lungs. So whenever I played these things, I'd yell at the top of my lungs, "It's unleashed," and everybody in the room would know what you were doing, and you would just hear other people in Rakdos shouting, and it was a camaraderie. It was like, "My Rakdos brother, unleash it," and like it just brought everybody together. It was such a fun time, and you had like rivalries between guilds, like, "Oh, you're a Azorius player? Oh well, fuck you, control prick."
Yeah,
And I was like, "Oh, you're
exactly.
Orsov? I'm gonna stay away from you."
And
And like it just brought people together in some fun ways that we just don't have anymore.
like
I've yet to see something like that again.
the last time I saw something like that was when we went back to Ravnica recently.
Yeah, when you go back to, yeah.
Not for fucking murder house clue bullshit.
Right, the
But
yeah, that,
what
oh
was it?
boy.
It wasn't
That was something.
it wasn't Return to Ravnica. It was
That could be a whole other episode. It's like worst sets we've ever seen.
yeah, it
Like worst
was
sets of the past 5 years.
yeah, it was Guilds Ravnica and Ravnica
Yep.
Allegiance. Like
Yep. We
when we
had,
when we
yeah,
went back to those, I was at those pre-releases
again.
and the camaraderie with
Mhm.
Magic players as a whole was great.
Yeah.
Like you wanted to go to pre-releases to hang out with other people that played Magic.
Yeah.
Yeah, you had some
And we did see it, we did see something similar when Tarkir came out. We had the clans.
yes.
So like that was cool too with Tarkir, and like when we just had Dragonstorm 2, where you could like it was like a sense of belonging
Yep.
almost. You were like, it was almost like a personality, like one of those goofy dumb personality tests. It's like, oh, is it player has these traits, or if you belong to this clan of Tarkir, you're like this, this, and this, and it like defined who you were.
Now,
essentially. Like it was your personality, it was your way of playing,
now, right
which I
after,
just
yeah,
loved.
now right after Thrones of Eldraine is when I kind of took a personal break. Um,
Hmm.
Mostly because of my accident, and I kind of stopped
Yeah,
playing for a little bit.
yeah, that's a pretty
And
good reason to just kind of take a step back and chill for a minute
so
and reflect.
I didn't really play in Theros Beyond Death, Commander
Oh, I
2020.
played a lot of Theros.
Oh yeah, no, I know you did, but
Yeah,
like
seeing the Greek gods and stuff like that was very cool.
I wish I was back in the
Yeah,
like I
I
took about a
wish you
year
were around
break,
for
give or
that. Man.
take.
Yeah,
Like Zendikar Rising. Zendikar is one of my favorite planes, mostly because
Zendikar
Nissa.
was cool as hell.
Yeah, mostly Nissa is my favorite planeswalker. I mean, fuck, I named my
Yeah,
fucking dog after her. But
you sure did.
I came back to playing competitively and consistently right around Adventures in the
Hmm.
Forgotten Realms. Um,
Yep.
Now, and I'm so upset at myself that I missed Kaldheim, missed Strixhaven.
Oh, Call Time was so good. Call Time and Strixhaven were my other two big sets that I really loved.
With Strixhaven, did we see
Mm.
that camaraderie like with the different schools?
You did actually, yes. So yeah, when you had with Strixhaven, it was a big kind. I feel like they were trying to capture almost like a Hogwarts esque,
Yeah,
kind of grip for Harry Potter fans. Almost like here's the different schools of magic that would exist in the Magic universe. So you had like the Quandrix and you had the Prismari and a few of those. Those are just the only two that I remember because I played a lot of the Quandrix stuff because I'm a math nerd, so I did a lot of mathematic nonsense with it. Plus Simic, like blue green, is just a lot of cool, fun stuff. That was really cool to have. So I also loved with these sets, it gave us names for these color pairs that we never had before. As in, like, so before we had, Tarkir or any of those clans, the what was one of them? Sultai,
yep,
we just called it Bug,
yeah,
right? Like there was no names for things before those sets dropped. So before Tarkir with Jeskai and Mardu and things like that, and Sultai it was Bug, it was America, it was uh just red, white, black. Like I don't think Mardu really had any kind of name to it. Abzan didn't have much of a thing for it. It was just some kind of like mid-range thing that we called it before that existed. And this is way back in like, oh shit, like 2013, something like that. So like some 12 plus years ago.
yeah.
Before any of that dropped, we just had random shit that we called it, you know. So it was really cool to see those come out, and like I think we could see a spike in players for sets like that because people like to feel like they belong to something and like that to have that sense of like, oh, my fellow, guildmate, my fellow Jeskai player, my
Yep.
fellow this or that. It's like respect. Like you see, like you're playing Golgari deck, and then you see another Golgari deck across the table, and you're like, my brother, I see you. Let's have a good
Exactly.
time.
It felt like that they were trying to bring back that
Yeah,
feel. I mean, because with
which was
Strixhaven,
cool to see in Strixhaven.
granted, they changed up the color combination names. So, like, is
They
it they
did, but
changed
they
to
had to like add a little
Prismari?
bit.
Yeah. Is it
But
they
that never it
changed?
didn't stick.
No.
Right? Like we don't we still call is it.
Yeah. Like, is it they changed to
It'll forever be that.
Prismari? Golgari, they changed to Witherbloom. Uh,
Witherbloom, that's right. I couldn't think of that one.
yep. Then you had Boros was Lorehold.
Yep.
Um, fuck, what was the other one?
Orzhov was
Orzhov
like
was
ink, ink
Silver Quill.
Silver Quills, that's right. Very
Uh,
poetic writers.
and I want to say it was Simic was Quandrix.
Quandrix, yep.
There was one more.
Mathematics and geometry. I think that's it. I think it was just those five.
Was it?
Yeah, it was just those five. They didn't do
Yeah, they didn't
anything for
do
white blue.
Gruul, Rakdos,
Yeah, there's no
Demir.
Gruul, no Rakdos. There was a Rakdos card, but they didn't have like a school for it because it was seen as like dark evil magic, so they didn't
Yeah,
have anything exactly for that per se.
but you had
But I always thought that was cool.
yeah, like it was cool to bring back uh that. But one of the next ones that I'm surprised they haven't turned into a bi-yearly thing or even every 2 years is Commander Legends. So
Yeah, that'd be cool to have that again.
we've had Modern Horizons, and we've had a couple of them. We haven't had one in a few years now. But with Commander Legends, you had a bunch of reprints. You had a bunch of new mechanics coming back. I mean, Christ, you
Yeah,
have Yurlock of Scorched Thrash bringing back
that
freaking
was a
Mana
really
Burn.
cool. I still want to build. I still have that guy sitting around somewhere. I haven't built it yet, but I love the idea of Mana Burn coming back.
Dude, I've been telling you I want to build him for like the last five
Yeah,
years.
yeah.
But you have other cool cards in that. I mean, you have Obeka that messes with ending turns early.
Time and yeah, that is
Yep.
always cool.
But what's Commander Legends was cool because I mean you got a bunch
I
of
like Commander.
reprints and a bunch of good
Yeah, seeing a lot of
reprints.
reprints, and like that's probably something that like helped the deck, like helped not the deck, the set work really well. Is just having reprints of key cards to incite, to get excitement for the set, right?
And they weren't even like
Like with Edge of
reprints of expensive
Eternities,
cards either though. Like
right?
some of the good reprints were cards like Foundry Inspector, Reclamation Sage, Black
Yeah,
Cricket
just
Blade
good simple
Reforge.
staples.
Like it brought back staples, especially to those
Yeah,
newer to the format that they might not have been playing during frickin' Kaladesh when
right.
SRAM Senior Edificer was around.
Right. So it's a good way to. That's how we should be introducing new players to these things, rather than. I mean, hot take. I feel like we should be using sets like that to incite new players and to show them ways to build their decks up better and to get stronger, better, cards in there from older sets that they may not know of, rather than just, oh look, Avatar, oh look, a turtle, oh look, Star Trek.
Like
Like,
I
I,
understand.
what is that adding? It doesn't add. It doesn't bring up stuff. I don't.
Like obviously, the Lord of the
It's
Rings
just,
brought in a bunch of fans, just as did Warhammer.
of course,
But even with the Lord of the Rings,
but those weren't like full whole block. Like Warhammer was just a cool, fun,
Commander set,
you know, commander set.
just
Like that's all
five
it was.
four
Like here's a
decks.
cool set of commander decks that are pricey as fuck. But that's the other issue is the pricing of it. Like you could go back to one of these old sets and buy a booster box of them for maybe $40. Or
Depending
you
on
could
the
go
set.
back and look at the older commander decks. I don't know. I haven't looked at the full prices yet. I might be wrong on that. But I
A
know
lot
that
of
the
these
old commander
sets are
decks,
still expensive.
yeah, the commander decks aren't.
No,
Most of the old commander decks wouldn't run you more than $60.
no,
And they got some pretty strong shit in them.
especially the older
So
ones.
yeah. So
It
I don't know. I've been having a falling out with it for a while and trying to get back into it. I don't know if I'd ever get back into, seeing these like, oh, we got upcoming. I might just end up taking a big break from a lot of stuff coming up. Like Lorwyn, I'll go to pre-release for, of course. I'm likely gonna skip Avatar and all this other crap.
yeah,
Is we're missing. We need to return to form. We need to return to, like we've been saying for months. We've been saying this, broken records at this point. At the older sets worked for a reason, right? They gripped people in ways that got them excited to play the cards. That got them excited to be a part of bigger stories than anything they'd seen before. And now I can you tell me what our big story plot is
I have
at
no
this
idea.
point based on the sets we've had?
Honestly, I haven't
Like
been able to
we
follow the story since War of the Spark.
Yeah, I mean, we had Tarkir Dragonstorm, which had some really cool stuff with Sarkin doing his thing, and like a big Dragonstorm running amok, breaching planes and something along those lines. I couldn't remember who the big bad is
No,
from that though.
but the last
Duskmorn was cool with the horror stuff. I like Duskmorn
the last
with its horror
real
theme.
story that I remember was with Phyrexia All Be One and March of the Machine. But
Yeah,
even
that
then,
was the last big, like, cinematic style, end game style threat was the Phyrexians. But now we don't have. I I don't know. I
no, it seems like there was
We've
nothing
gone
in
from
Roswell Drain, nothing in Lost Caverns,
nope,
nothing at Murders,
nope.
nothing at Outlaws, nothing in Bloomborough, nothing in Duskmorn. Ether Drift,
I
it
mean,
felt
those
like a side
introduced.
quest.
Yeah, like we got stuff with like Ether Drift had a cool thing with them racing for. Like I understood the story of Ether Drift with Chandra trying to win to get Nissa back her spark.
Yeah.
I followed that and got a pretty good idea of that one from the cards, and with Loop being a key player. And I remember from Outlaws with Thunder Junction. I mean, I love the Old West, so I'm a
Yes.
big Old West fan. I love like gunslingers and cool shit like that. So Thunder Junction was kind of cool seeing that. I liked a few of the artworks and stuff from there, with like pulling off a heist on a train. I thought that was a cool little, story. And I believe Loot was in Thunder Junction. I believe that he was the wasn't he like the treasure that they were all hunting for was Loot?
Yes. Yes. Because that
I
came
believe
out
so. Yeah,
in the. I don't think he was in the
that was
main
last year.
set. Yeah, I don't think he was in the main set. I think he was on. Because remember how I was saying that.
Like some kind of card arts or something. Yeah,
Yeah, he was in
like he
card
was mentioned
arts,
in something else.
mentioned. Um,
Yeah.
because in. What was the commander? Um, let's see. Nope, it wasn't Yuma. He was in alternate, like it was almost like a second sheet called
Mhm.
the Big Score,
Right. The big. Yeah.
and he has one card in the entire set, and it's just the loot key to everything, and
Yeah.
that's really all he was in that set.
So it
So
seems like they're trying to play whatever this is culminating to by like next year probably. It seems like they're just playing it really close to the chest and they're trying to contain their story rather than just release like set after set after set inside of a block. They're prolonging it and just dragging it out for some reason rather than just going from one story to the next.
but it's,
I don't know if it's because they're running out of ideas and they just don't know what else to do.
I mean, like you and I were
Like
talking, I think they're just going to do a giant reset.
probably, but then what's that going to lead to? Is that just going to make every universes beyond canon now and
I
just have
hope not.
everything be in universe no matter what? I mean,
What
it is
I would
multiverse, so like it could exist.
what I would love to see is if they do a reset after the last in universe set, we go back and oh, guess what? One of your first sets of 2027 is Magic Origins 2. And
That would be cool.
have four
We
or
should go back to
five.
Ice Age. I'm gonna go back to Ice Age.
Well, if you go back to
That
Origins,
would be wicked.
you
You
have
could go back
four
to
or five
Origins.
flip planeswalkers and have them be
Yeah,
different. Come up with new characters.
with like new abilities and new
Yep.
things. Yeah,
So don't bring back Nissa, don't bring Chandra, Liliana, Gideon. Don't bring those guys back. Just start fresh.
yeah, they could.
And then you could have a big bad like a dragon. Make dragons actually fucking scary. Again.
I mean, there were some pretty good dragons in Dragonstorm.
Yes, there was. But what I mean by scary as in make them feel like an actual threat to the story.
Yeah,
But
I
It's
mean, the
all
other set that we did have that I personally really enjoyed that I would like to go back to was Battle Bond.
yes.
Battle Bond introduced a lot of really cool stuff with the partner mechanic and just having a lot of fun to draft and go to the pre-release, which I think is the other issue that we may have run into is that there's just no I don't feel like anybody would ever want to go and draft Edge of Eternities,
No.
or I've seen some people talk about drafting Final Fantasy, but I don't think any of them have had such like a perfect, you know, set for that since like Battle Bond. Like this one was just so perfectly designed
Plus, Battle Bond was fucking
for
awesome
that.
for draft. I remember me and my good buddy Dennis
Yeah,
went to pre-release for this, and it wasn't a
it was
normal
a good time.
pre-release. The one I went to, it
Nope.
was a two-headed giant pre-release, and they had a
And
special
this was
rule.
perfect for that.
Yeah, they had a special rule where we had to build a commander deck. I mean, it wasn't like
Hmm.
a traditional pre-release; it was a
Right.
commander-esque tournament type of thing,
Yeah.
and each of us chose one of the partners, commanders, but we couldn't have the other partner in our deck. Our partner
Right.
built a
The other
deck
guy
around that
did.
person.
Right.
So
Yep.
Dennis and I, we did who the fuck did we do? We did uh Gorm the Great and Virtus the
Oh,
Big.
that those ones were good. That's one of the better pairings, I think.
And
Those guys are very strong.
but we were only allowed to use cards from that set.
Right.
So it was a fun game. Plus, you had the assist mechanic there that allowed other
Yep.
people to help pay for your spells. So it made for a really, really cool co-op
Yeah.
battle against someone else.
We need a set like that again. I think if we had a set similar to Battle Bond drop, you know, what would have been cool to see and smart probably would just ditch one of the UBs and just add in either a return to Battle Bond or a set similar to it,
Well,
and
Christ,
you'd see the numbers skyrocket,
I
right?
think
Like
Battle
people would be
Bond,
flocking to
yeah,
that.
I think Battle Bond was all about like it wasn't like necessarily a story if I remember correctly. It was just okay, we're gonna do an arena
This is a
battle
cool fun. It
set.
was like an arena, yeah. It was like a Coliseum esque arena battle style where people were just you partner up with somebody that worked with your things and you just went to town.
Yeah, so
They
like
had cool commander decks built around the partner mechanic. You were able to have two commanders that added just insane dynamics to like it was a game changing, you know,
I feel
set.
like
And
yeah,
that's what we're lacking. We're lacking impactful, meaningful sets that truly add something to the game. And I
like
think that's what we need to go back for. We need to return to form with those.
yeah. So the last set that I'm talking about, last block, is
Mm.
the first set I ever personally drafted at pre-release, and that is Ixalan and Rivals of Ixalan.
Ixalan was a cool set.
Oh my
I
god,
enjoyed it very
we
much.
talked about it briefly earlier, but this is all just pure nostalgia to me. It was the first set that released while I was actively playing, so I went to a bunch of different pre-releases. I think I went to two or three for each set,
Hmm.
and I had a lot of freaking fun. Not to mention, I
Yeah.
love freaking dinosaurs.
Yep.
Pirates, I'm obsessed with, and
Yep. Pirates were that was what gripped me the most when I saw pirates being a thing. When I saw Beckett Brass, I was like, "Holy shit, we
oh
can
yeah,
do pirates!"
oh my
But it
god,
wasn't good. Pirate that we needed more pirate love. There's a lot of Dino love. You got a lot of Dino love with that one, but
oh
pirates
yeah,
were a little lacking. I noticed, and vampires too. Vampires made a comeback with that one.
yeah. I mean, you got vampires come back, you got merfolk come back.
Yep.
Um,
It was a very like kindred
yeah,
creature based
I mean, because you got cards like
set, which I
Vanquisher's
personally love those
Banner,
too. Yep.
and they timed it perfectly with the release of the Commander decks that year, and that was before the Commander
Yep.
decks were themed around a set. And I kind of miss the days of them releasing one set of precons a year. Now they're,
Yeah.
I mean, past it seems like it was every single set. I'm like, oh shit. But back then it was
Yeah. Like every
one.
set you would think, but nowadays it's like, oh, this set doesn't have a commander pre-con attached to it. I don't want it.
Yeah, like back then it was one commander pre set of commander precons a year, and
Yeah, we
that
got
year,
spoiled.
yeah, that year with Ixalan had some of the three of the best commander decks of all time because you had the Eminence
Yeah.
commanders that year. So you had Arabo, you had Edgar, you had
Yeah.
Ur Dragon,
Scion, the Earth Dragon.
and you
Yeah.
had who was the mage one? Um, Anala,
Uh,
maybe.
Anala. Yep.
Yeah,
Anala. I
but
like the mage one. I bought the was it? I bought the dragons and I bought the mages because you know I'm all about that
oh
spellcraft.
my god.
So
But like even to this day, I still have my dinosaur deck and I still have my pirate deck. They are very
okay.
different from when I first built them. But I
Oh
still have
yeah.
my Admiral Rebecca Bass deck, and I have my Zakama deck still built up, but that's mostly
Mm,
because I haven't figured out how I want to change it. Because
right.
Zakama is great fucking commander, but he's so fucking
The comment is
expensive.
good. He's a big boy.
It makes it tough to play him against certain people because he's so slow.
Maybe like run it with Gishath. Maybe like swap over to like put Zakama in the 99 and just run Gishath as the main
I was
thing to get some like
thinking,
faster, better.
I was thinking that I might also, I was also thinking of switching over and just doing the um Owen Grady
Yeah,
and um
and blue.
in blue there as my
Yeah, that'd
commander.
be a good dino. That'd be a good dino deck
Um
in Teamer.
but
That's a good one.
who knows?
But like it's things like that. It's like they had the artwork again. They had a cool story being told in the cards themselves. And like I don't mind digging for lore, but at the same time it's like you could also just have it in the set and tell it through the cards so that while we're playing our game, we can actually see the story unfold through a game of
Yep.
Commander, which I always thought was cool. Like when we had Maze's End in with Ravnica, you could see as you were playing out the guild stuff and doing those different things and building up the gates with Maze's End, you win the game as like in the story of the set when they completed the maze, it was a huge victory and everything like that. So like it tied in to everything perfectly, which sad to say, we just haven't seen much anymore these days. And I was talking to one of our other buddies about the Command Zone released a cool video, which I have yet to see. I still need to go and watch it, which I probably will do once we're wrapped up here. About they did something with the Spider-Man stuff, and then after that, I guess he was telling me that they took a more not so much of like a semi-pessimistic approach to how Spider-Man faltered as just a set, right? After they had a big blast with their game nights, which you know, I don't know. I just think something needs to change. We need to return to form. We need to go back to these sets that everybody loved for the most part. From what I can remember, there were I've never seen a bad turnout from
No.
pre-releases before. So this needs to be a wake up call to somebody somewhere in WotC to be like, hey, listen, we gotta maybe change something in the next year or so. Because like I don't expect them to change anything next year. Their next year sets are already, you know, built in. They're done.
Unfortunately.
They're gonna release what they're gonna release next year. And our best hope, I think, is after the reality fractured or the fractured reality reset of whatever it is going to be, that we see less out of universe stuff and more in universe. Return to storytelling. Return to just a better overall experience.
Yeah.
So that's my hope anyway.
Yeah, I hope
But
we get back
yeah,
to more of the in-universe stuff, but
yeah.
Hasbro is money
I
hungry.
don't see them going back to block sets, but
I would love to go back to block sets. I mean, we've
yeah,
talked about it vigorously in the past,
yeah.
but I'm
And
not.
those are the ones that have a special place in our hearts, though. Like
Yeah,
you know,
I mean,
that's that's that.
we in terms of stuff coming up, yeah, we had some stuff spoiled. Um, obviously we have Avatar coming out next month. I'm I want to be excited for Avatar, but I don't know. I probably won't go to the pre-release, but I'll definitely be getting some singles most likely from it. But Lorwyn, super excited. We have some uh spoilers for it. Uh, it's looking like their main mechanic is going to be focused around the changing of Lorwyn and Shadowmoor, which is cool. Did I lose you, Jack? And I can't hear you.
Hello,
Oh, now I can hear you.
hello. Yeah, this stupid thing disconnected. So this
Oh,
is the fun, awful, microphone I've been using. It's cool. It works sometimes, but it decided to disconnect, so I had to go back to this. If you hear an audio drop or quality, whatever, I apologize. Tech is tech, It'd be like that sometimes.
but
I just said it somewhere random. Anywho, yeah, that's all the sets I had anyway. Like the big nostalgia ones that I would just love to not like reprint those again, but
yeah,
something similar, right? Like do something kind of similar to. I mean, you can never like remake the
nope.
wheel. Like we can't ask them to do that. Ask them to do another War of the Spark or another Amonkhet or another Innistrad. Those are what they are, and we love them for how they were. I think collectively, the player base, from what I've seen anyway, on different platforms and different things, we just want like a return to form. Basically, that's really just the best
Yeah,
that I can think of it. You know,
I mean,
so
with some of these UB sets, they're fucking pushing the boundaries so much that you're sitting there like, no, these UB sets weren't supposed to be legal in anything other than freaking Commander if the players want them in there. Now we have
yeah,
fucking TMNT in standard.
in like stand, yeah. I mean, if mechanically they're good, like if they're good mechanical cards, like they have cool new things to add, then I think they could be fun. Like Avatar does have the bending mechanic coming
Yes,
out, which
I'm interested
does
in
look
that.
kind of cool. So if there's new tie-in, like new things being added, then it could be cool. It's not just a fluff piece, you know.
I mean, I will say the cool
TMNT
thing.
feels like a fluff piece.
Oh, have you actually looked into it more though?
I've seen some of the cards printed.
So some of the cards
I've
printed
seen,
are 100% fluff pieces, but they're
yeah.
bringing back a special edition box that's a
Mm.
new game mode similar to Archenemy.
Oh, the bosses. Yes,
Yeah,
I saw some of the boss cards
like
with like Krang and some of that stuff. I've seen a couple of those. Yeah.
like I'm interested to see more about these boss cards cuz I might pick that up cuz
I mean, I liked Arch Enemy. We had something in Theros about the Hydra.
yeah,
That was a blast. Like the Hydra deck was so cool to play. I love playing that.
like
So
I was excited when they brought back
I don't know.
Planes
We'd
Chase
have to
cards
see.
a few years ago. Um
Plane Chase was cool.
then they brought back more arch enemy cards or not arch enemy. Yeah, they brought back arch enemy cards in fuck.
The Duskborn?
Yeah,
I think
Duskborn.
Duskborn had Arch Enemy.
Yeah, they had him
Which Duskborn
in.
was a cool set. I like the horror aspect of it.
Yeah, I think they had him in
Valgavoth was
the
pretty
commander
cool.
decks. They had a pack.
Hmm.
But at the end of the day,
Oh.
we'll see what
Yeah.
TMNT does. I'm not holding up too much hope, but it is what it is.
Not particularly. No. I mean, I was a huge fan of it as a kid, but
Oh my
like,
god, yeah.
you know,
But we'll see.
it'd be like that. I mean, yeah. I've said my piece. You got any final thoughts?
No, I think that's about it for
No.
today.
All right.
As always,
That'll
everyone,
wrap it up then.
I'm Kava,
This has been Jack.
and we will catch you guys all
Like and
next
sub
time.
if you do. If you don't,
Yes.
whatever.
We'll
Be
see you
good.
guys all next week. Take care, guys.